Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to our notes video here in Unit 5. This is our first official lesson past the vocabulary, and the notes today are titled The Product Rule for Exponents. So I actually started with the rule itself. So here's what it says. It says that if you take x raised to the a power and multiply by x raised to the b power, the final answer is x raised to the a plus b power. So let me highlight over that. This is the rule. But where in the heck did this rule come from? Well, by working these examples in our notes today, we should be able to come full circle back to this rule, and it'll make sense in a few minutes why that is what it is. So let's take a look here. Example 1. Which it looks like there only is one example in multiple parts. So it just says find each product meaning multiplication. So let's just take a look here. So we've got x squared times x. All right, my rule of thumb with these types of problems are break it down. I'm actually gonna write this for you. I like to break it down then build it back up. Okay, break it down and then build it back up. Here's what I mean. So I see a problem right here like x squared times x. What I like to do with a problem like this is I like to say to myself, well, what does x squared really mean? Well, x squared really means x times x. Does that make sense? Think about that. Back maybe when you first started learning about exponents, you might have started with numbers. Like if I asked you to take 4 raised to the second power, you would say, okay, Miss Callahan, that's 4 times 4, 4 times itself. Well, it's no different when you square an x. When you square an x, you take x times itself. And then you can deal with this term. So then we're multiplying by yet another x. So when we break it down, we have x times x times x. Now, let's build it back up. How many x's do we have now altogether? Well, I hope you're saying 3. So when we build it back up, our final answer is x to the third. Now, if you're a shortcut kind of person and you like to memorize rules, you can also think of this as you've got 2 x's here, you've got 1 x here, and 2 and 1 make 3 when you add them all together. Interesting. Okay, let's go to the next one. We've got m to the third times m to the fourth. So I'm going to break it down first. So m to the third means m times m times m. I'm going to multiply m by itself 3 times. Then I have this multiplication sign in between, which I'll write right there. And now m to the fourth means I've got 4 more. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm ready to build it back up. So let's count up the m's. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to finish this and say m to the 7th is my final answer. Again, check out the shortcut. A 3 and a 4, when you add them together, most certainly make a 7. And that might seem really easy right now, and it is. And students will say, oh, God, Miss Callahan, why would I ever do it this way? Well, as we move through Unit 5, we're going to be getting a lot of these rules. And so they start to become confusing, and they start to run together, which is why I like you to keep this in mind, even though this right now seems super easy. So I'm going to keep doing it by breaking it down. Okay, here's number 3. 2x to the third times 3x to the 7th. So here we go. A 2 is a 2, so I'm just going to write 2. But next to the 2, I've got 3 x's. So it's 2 times x times x times x. Then this multiplication sign And then I have a 3. And behind that, I've got 7 x's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I broke it down. That's the breakdown. Now I'm going to build it back up. So 2 times 3 is 6. And I'll count my x's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 6x raised to the 10th power. Shortcutters. Yes, you could have taken 2 times 3 is 6. And then 3 plus 7 makes that 10. Okay, let's go to number 4. 5a times 3a to the 3rd. The breakdown would be 5 times a. That's all that is. Times 3 times a times a times a. So there's my breakdown. Now here's my build. 5 times 3, 15. Count my a's. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll give a final answer. 15a to the 4th power. For this one, if you're shortcutting it, you can definitely see the 5 times the 3 making the 15. You have to think of the a as being raised to the 1st power, and then your 1 plus your 3 makes your 4. Okay, next one. These sort of just become kind of flows after a while. 8r to the 3rd power would be 8 times r times r times r. And then my multiplication sign that's in between. And then -2 times, and now I need 8 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's my breakdown. Now I will build it. So 8 times -2 is going to give me -16. And I'll count my r's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So -16 r to the 11th. Again, going back to the shortcut. 8 times -2, and then 3 plus 8. Okay, so let's look at number 6. For this one, it's interesting. We don't really have coefficients like the 8 and the -2 and the 5 and the 3. These are just ones, really. So I'm going to write it like this for the breakdown. For -x squared, I think what I'll do is write that as -1 times x, and then times y for the y squared, times, and then this is like a 1, x, and then 6 y's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That way, if you put the -1 there and the 1 there, then you know what you're multiplying by here. So the -1 times the +1 is -1. Count your x's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So x to the 5th. Count your y's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then if you want to strip that -1 back off of there, you could write your final answer as -x to the 5th and y to the 8th. Shortcut, well, 2 variables here, x's and y's. Negative times positive is the negative, and then 2 plus 3 makes 5, and 2 plus 6 makes 8. Okay, almost there, 2 to go. Number 7, -6 m to the 3rd, so my breakdown will be -6 times m times m times m times, and then in front of this guy is a 1, times m times m times n. So there's my breakdown. And then my build back is going to give me -6 times 1 is -6. M's, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so m to the 5th, and just 1 n. So that'll be my final. Again, 3 plus 2 is 5, and n is just n. Okay, and here's my last one. I'm going to see if I can just do this one by the shortcut. You could also break it down, but let's just try it by the shortcut. So let's see. We've got the negative 5 times the negative 8. Those are our coefficients. We may multiply those. So that will give us a positive 40. Now our a's, we've got an a to the 4th times an a to the 6th. So if we add those exponents, 4 plus 6 is 10. And then for our b's, we've got a b to the 1st with a b to the 5th, and 1 plus 5 is 6. Final answer. So it's a pretty easy concept. Like I said, in isolation, very simple, not much to it. But again, here's that rule. When you take two like bases, like x and x, and you multiply, you may add the exponents together as your shortcut. Okay, thanks for watching.